morning, he said, from Zetster's lab. What I want to talk about today is the following. You cannot do anything wrong. Listen again. You cannot do anything wrong. It was so awesome. I went to Grafrenet on Friday and Saturday. I go 3 art workshops. And during the one workshop, always my first rule is you got to think like a child once again. Because a child does believe. A child believes it can. Nothing is too difficult. They're an artist. They just know it. They know they can create. They know they can. I mean, there was this beautiful little girl. She was 6 years old. Hello, Bella Blobs. And she had me all for herself. It just worked out like that way, that when she wanted to come, all the others couldn't come. So now her head is full of lipstick. So she came and I had her all to myself. I'll put the links below. It's so precious. And never once did I have the problem of relax. Just allow the life in you, your creativity to flow. What I actually had to do was hold her a little bit back. You know, it was so funny when I say, okay, now we're just going to tip, tip, tip. She was tipping, and then there goes everything. Everything one color again. Then I said, let's just tip, tip, tip. And then she tip with the little fingers. Later she was having this, only this one to have the tiny finger. It was so precious. So you cannot do anything wrong. That is to me my second thing in art. In any art lesson, workshop, I keep trying to tell my pupils that you cannot do anything wrong, so just relax. It's layer upon layer. It's just the first step. And if you stand back and look and something doesn't look right, you just paint over it. You do the second step. And right through the lesson, the one woman, she just continues saying, I cannot do anything wrong. She said, isn't it amazing? I haven't heard that in so long, she said. She kept saying that. And it touched my heart, because we all grow up with so many rules and regulations, never mind in art. Let's go to real life. This is wrong, don't do this, don't do that, that you grow up with this mindset that instead of just allowing the life to lead you and guide you minute by minute, because that is what it means to eat of the tree of life, just living and just allowing the life in you to lead you and guide you step by step. That is what it means to live abundantly in this realm. But instead of that, we listen to our minds and other people and their beliefs and fear and religion and all this cultures and stuff that telling us, don't do that, just don't do that, this is wrong, this is right, this is just keeping your line, and you get brainwashed that you are totally incapable later on to trust and listen to the life in you. You know what the Bible says, the Word says, the truth says, I'll give you everything you need to live victoriously in this realm. So what has we been given? The Spirit, the life, the abundant life. I mean, our eldest brother Jesus, he said, what I have, you have. The same life I have is in you. He said, that's why I need to go away. Otherwise, you're going to make a religion out of me. Ha ha. Exactly what we did. Every religion is just a set of rules of what you should do to be blessed and what you should not do to be cursed. And It doesn't work. Because that's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The tree of life says, just trust me, the life in me, and I will lead you, guide you every step of the way, moment by moment. You cannot do, listen to me, anything wrong. We judge by our minds what is right and what's wrong. But you know, the wonderful truth is we don't see the whole picture. We don't know the whole picture. There's a picture, there's a whole picture, there's a whole movie taking place. And all that we see is this little bit, and now we judge compared to that whether we are right or we are wrong. It's not truth. So the same with painting, is the same with life. You cannot do anything wrong, just relax. Everything you do in that moment is the only thing that the life in you allows you to do. So never, 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 and that's what we do. We do look back. We look back and then we think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. This is wrong. And we're so full of condemnation and fear. I mean, I remember I was in so much fear years back when I was really bound in religion, not life. I was bound in religion of you should do this and you shouldn't do this and this is right and this is wrong. That I was in such fear I didn't know how to live because I was constantly, permanently trying to figure out what is right and what is wrong. Should I now go to town? Should I now paint? Should I do this? Should I do that? My life was this huge struggle until I got rid of that burden and started to walk in the Spirit, with the Spirit, having faith and trust in the Spirit and the life in me to guide me, lead me, provide for me whatever I need, prompt me, forces me, whatever, so that I should do in that moment what I need to do. Because you know what, think back. At any time in your life, in any moment, that was the only thing that you could have done, because that's what you did. You couldn't do anything else because the life in you only allowed you to do that. It's just a stepping stone. I watched a movie last night. It's called Afterlife. It's this man who lost his wife. She was his whole life. And all of a sudden, he was without her. And he was devastated. He was just trying to commit suicide the whole time. And it's a very sad, it's on, I'll come back to that. And now I cannot remember where I watched the movie. It's a series. On Netflix, the series on Netflix. It's very emotional, it's very dark, but it's so true. How that man lost his whole life when his partner passed, and how he just couldn't cope with life without her. And then he was sitting, and the one woman he found this older woman in the graveyard, and she was just sitting there at her husband's grave, and she just said, you know what? There's only one thing about life, the wonderful thing about life. Life goes on. She said, and she wouldn't have taken away anything in her past, nothing she did, absolutely nothing, because then she wouldn't have been in that place, spiritual place, where she is right now. That's the same. I did bad. I did crazy things that makes me blush, things that is wrong in my eyes and in the eyes of the world and anything. But you know, when I look back, when I did them, I couldn't have done anything else because I was so bound. And now, because of that and what I did, that was just a stepping stone to get my healing and my deliverance and my life to turn out as it is right now, in this place where I am experiencing peace and joy in the midst of anything. Now take note, sometimes I experience, but more and more, that's growth. More and more I experience peace and joy in the midst of any situation. Like Paul said, I have learned through trials and errors and whatever to experience peace and joy in the midst of any situation. We try to change situations to make us happy, because we believe that is what makes us unhappy. I made another video, I'll also put this in the link. It's how to find happiness, something like that. And you create it. You don't get a happy life. You need to create a happy life. And the first thing is make peace with your journey. Realize you didn't do anything wrong. Your life's not wrong. Where you are right now, it's not wrong. It's exactly where you're supposed to be. The situation you're in is exactly the situation you need to get to where you're supposed to be going. What with your life? I wouldn't have thought in a million years that I would become an artist, a writer, an encourager, that I would have my own YouTube channel. Yes, only 53 subscribers, thank you very much, but I've got my YouTube channel that touch people. I've got my Facebook pages, and I share, and I paint, and I give art workshops. I mean, I grew up in a farm and my parents were very, very sporty, so I went into tennis and sport and became a tennis coach and blah, blah, blah. It was only 15 years that I started to write. I mean, I first started, to write. Whatever the Spirit tells me, I was starting to write that down. My journey through the religion, out of religion, into life, experiencing life, the same life Jesus had. Exactly what he's taught I'm trying to live and say. And now I find myself in this place. And when I look at it, I am dumbfounded. I don't know how I got here. All I know is it wasn't me, it wasn't my mind. Let's tell it. It wasn't my ego. It wasn't anything I did or tried or envisioned. I didn't plan any of this. It just happened. How? By day, just living. And so nothing is wrong. Your life is unfolding perfectly. You're not doing anything wrong. Nothing is wrong. Everything in your life, in your children's life, in the world, whatever in this realm is unfolding perfectly. We just don't understand it. So that's why we need to let go of our egos and our minds and our preconceived ideas and our traditions and religions and whatever that keeps us so in bondage that we cannot enjoy the flow of the Spirit. Because believe you me, the flow of the Spirit of the life got me where I am today. And at times I was fighting that spirit. It was war inside of me. And every single time when I find myself angry and resentful and at ease, not at peace, I realize I'm now angry because my life is not unfolding as I want it. My mind's taking over. Now I think, but I don't want this to happen, and I get angry. So the war is not out there in the world. The war is in you. The ego fighting the abundant life in you. And the good news is, for the truth, the abundant life, everlasting life, spirit life, life that was in Jesus and in his Father, and it's also in us, that Spirit life is leading you, guiding you, providing for you minute by minute, second by second in this moment, the now, to go where it wants to go. I myself no longer lives. Izet with a mind, ego, whatever. Paul with his mind, ego, whatever, no longer lives. But who? The spirit life, the life that was in Jesus and in, I'm going to say it, Buddha and all those people, those spiritual people that really were realized. They came out of religion and they was trying to tell us, let go of the mind of your ego. Start to live out of the abundant life that is in you. Eat of the tree of life. Start eating of the tree of life. Then, and only then, will you experience peace and joy in the midst. Because you know what? The life in you and in everybody else is working with a plan that we do not understand. And each one has a purpose and a job this moment. I mean, when you look at people in your past, people that really made you angry and brought out the worst in you, guess what? They were supposed to bring out the worst in you so that you can realize, I'm in bondage. I'm not manifesting the unconditional love, the abundant life. I'm manifesting the things of the flesh. Angry, resentment, self-pity, fear, hate. So yes, people and situations, the life in you brings it along or whatever to show you what's in your heart, what you need to deal with. So you do things that it seems terribly wrong, but what does it show you? Your heart. Not the other people's. Your fight is not flesh and blood. Your fight's not other people. Your fight is what's keeping you and your spirit in bondage. And that's your enemy, and that's what you need to deal with. So the good news is relax. There's no condemnation when you start to walk and flow and allow the spirit the freedom that it already has. So the spirit in you and in me and everybody else is leading and providing and allowing things to happen. And the minute that we stop judging everything, stop judging and trying to figure out if everything is right or wrong, and we just start to go with the flow and just trust in the process and just realize, even though I understand nothing, all is well. That's when you can experience peace and joy in the midst of anything. When you stop changing situations, when you stop changing people, when you stop changing yourself and just realize, I need to die to my ideas if I ever want this war in me to stop. My emotions, my will, my mind, my preconceived ideas, my will got to die to womb, the life in me. I was not going to talk about this spiritual stuff. I really tried to but I cannot. So once again, I just surrender. That's why I say my 53 subscribers really want to listen to this, because it's not an easy message. Nobody wants to die. Jesus was crying on that cross. My God, why have you forsaken me? Because he realized the God that he created out of his mind is not going to save him. We all create gods in our minds. And that needs to die in order to find our spiritual source, our life, our abundance. That's in us. That is never, going to help you to get your outside life to turn out your way. The life in you is moving you forward minute by minute, now to the way that, I don't want to say it or he, or I don't know what to say anymore, but your life is, the life in you is exactly doing what the life in you wants to do through this manifestation. Whether you like it, enjoy it, want it to happen is totally beside the point. The only point is, if you let go of your ideas and your ego and your mind, you will find peace and joy and happiness in what the Spirit, how the Spirit is leading you. And that is what it means to walk in the Spirit, to eat of the tree of life instead of the flesh. So nothing is wrong. You cannot do anything wrong. Relax. The Spirit will stop you if you try to do anything that it does not want. And it will guide you and place in your heart the desires and the power and everything you need to do exactly what the life in you wants to do. So that's why I say nothing is wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. Relax, start enjoying life, the abundant life in you, living and using your manifestation to live abundantly through you. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for tuning in. I'll put links below if you want to see my art workshops or whatever. We are one, part of the one Spirit of life that is working through everything in all of us towards a plan. I don't know what the plan is. Abundant life flowing through each and every one. Nothing, there is nothing more precious than experiencing peace and joy, deep peace and joy and happiness in the midst of any situation, whatever it may be. And we've got in us what we need in order to do just that. Enjoying this journey through this realm. In the midst of any situation, find your happiness in the midst. Love you lots. You've got this thing. We've got this thing we call life. All we need to do is just get out of the way and allow the life in us to live through us.